Yes, my name is Elena Peresada, and I prefer the term game educator. I've played in casino just once, and I won 27,000 rubles, which was quite nice. But the thing is that gambling, it's not a game, because there are no meaningful choices in this activity, and it is quite boring. And as it is boring, I know where to stop. Okay, you've got enough money just to go away with them. So today we are going to talk about games and how to use them in your lessons, not just for fun, but professionally to make this usage meaningful, not for your students and for you. I just wonder if there is anyone in the room who has never been to my talks or who has never. Can you read? Okay, that's good. You've never listened to me. It just, sometimes I feel a little bit awkward. I think I've already told all these things thousands of times, and everybody knows everything, and maybe there is no point in being here. As I learned many years ago, and yesterday's talk only proved this idea that games are used just mostly for fun and as reward in LT. Am I right? Okay, do you play games in your lessons? Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I can see that some people are nodding their heads, so you don't use games just for fun. Yeah. Yes, you do. Okay. And just very often it is like, okay, I bought a nice game at the conference. Okay, next week, if I have 10 minutes left at the end of the lesson, I'm going to play it. Oh, so just 3 people came to my group today, and all the rest, they are ill. Okay, why don't we play games? Oh, it's the final lesson of the term. Okay, why should I bore my students with this, educational stuff? Let's just play games. So this is the most common usage of games in LT nowadays. And this is what I just hate. Okay, again, this is a tool, a teaching tool, which should be used properly. And if you know how to use it, it will help you to work and to go through your pains. So you use games just to overcome something which you can't overcome with the help of other means. And I'm going to skip this one. So my idea today is just to make sure that you understand. So that the paradigm should be like this. Not what game, I have a game and I want to play it. But okay, I've got this pain. What game should I choose to cure this pain? Okay, and actually to be able to do this, you need to know a little bit more about games than just gambling and snakes and ladders. And Monopoly and LS. Most of them are not games. Well, in a proper sense of the word. I do love this diagram, and I've been using for years. I don't know, maybe for 10 years. Well, not 10 years. Well, I started my education as game designer in 2013, and so this diagram still helps me to work and just to teach other teachers how to play games. And it's been taken from the website gamasutra.com. A lot of interesting stuff about games and gaming. Don't just mix it up with another interesting website, which might be also very intriguing and engaging. This one is gamasutra.com. Okay, so as you can see, there are different layers in this circle, and different types of games, they belong to different parts of this circle. So this big circle, it is called interactive systems, what we call in Trendy English games тупоигры. Okay, they're just not real games, but it doesn't mean that we don't have to use them in the classroom. So what kind of games belong to this part? Well, what type of activities? I can't even call them games. Match 2 words.
Memory game.
No. We will just talk about memory later. Memory is a very good game. Just matching. When you randomly maybe you open the cards and you whether they match or not. Snakes and ladders. There are no choices. Everything depends on your luck and on the result on the dice. Most flashcard games belong to this category. There are a lot of warming up activities, which are not real games. They find someone who. It is not a game, actually. Well, obviously, it belongs to this. So, anything which is less boring than just open your books and let's do exercise 2. It belongs to this category. So, what else is important? Usually, students who are under 7, they love these kind of activities and they can't play any other. It is impossible. If you work with a group in which there are students who have never been played before with, and I know I've had this experience in my life. I had a group of 13-year-olds, and I tried quite sophisticated games with them while they were frozen. So we started with this тупые игры, with simple activities, as I had just to make sure that they feel safe and comfortable with doing something apart from grammar exercises. And well, actually, by the way, why do students like doing? There are cases when students prefer grammar exercises just to playing games. Doing grammar exercises is much safer. You don't?
Because you can lose?
Yeah. If you can lose, or in the game, usually you have to do something extraordinary or something which you normally don't do, and you might feel a little bit embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's why it is much safer just to do something which you are used to. But this is the topic of another talk, actually, and you can come up to our stand, and there is a whole book about team building games and activities and how to use them and why we should use them in the classroom. Okay, now the next category, puzzles. So what type of activities might belong to this category? Can you give me any ideas? Yeah, perfect. Crosswords.
Jigsaws.
Mm-hmm.
Word search.
Kahoot.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the last word?
Kahoot. Kahoot and Jeopardy game, any kind of quizzes. So what is the peculiar thing about these type of games, activities? You can't win the game if you don't know the correct answer. That means that if you are a smart student, you always win. If you are a weak student, you always lose. There is no point in playing this game for both categories. So I can't do anything. Okay, I will lose anyway.
You can do it twice.
But that's, you must learn before.
Yeah, but you can use these type of activities to test. Not just to write a test, it is boring. But these activities are perfect for testing your students, or maybe for revising some material, just to make sure that if you want to know whether they still remember anything or not from the previous lesson. As for age groups, students when they go to school, children when they start their school, 7, 8, they love this type of activities. They are at school, they want to look smart. Well, they don't have to know much stuff. Usually they can cope with this stuff. And they love puzzles, all these kind of activities. Then there is the next category, contests. Any ideas what can be included here?
Grammar auction.
Grammar auction, that would be an interactive system, as it is a complete randomizer, or it will be interactive system with some aspects of puzzle, because you have to know well. You can win if you know the correct answer. Okay, any kind of running dictation? Running dictation.
Quizzes maybe.
Huh?
Quizzes, no?
Quizzes, no. Quizzes, they go to puzzles. So what else? Double. In contests, the winning point, the winning depends on your physical ability.
Like you have 10 seconds to find blah blah blah.
Yeah. And if you are a slow student, these games irritate you.
Yeah.
So you can't stand them. You may be a very smart student, but you would never win this game. And that's why you say, okay, I don't like playing games in your classroom. So these are stupid games. We've got one game based on these mechanics. Alibi, present perfect, to practice present perfect continuous. As I call it, it is a high adrenaline game. And so if you are quite slow, please don't play this game. Okay, you can get a heart attack. So as for age groups, usually preteens love these games because they are full of energy. And they have just to get rid of this energy somehow. But as soon as we come to teens and adults, they need real games. And what is the definition of a true game? I like definition which was given by Sid Meier, the author of Civilization. You know Civilization, computer game. He says that a game is a series of meaningful choices. That means that if you can make a choice which will affect the result of the game, then this is a good game. And actually, this is how our education should be built. In a form of a meaningful game. Or a game with meaningful choices. Okay, I do this results in this. I know why I should do this. Okay, and it shouldn't be made in the paradigm of puzzles, as it is right now. Okay. In games, we make decisions and they affect the result of the game. Of course, if you are younger than 9, you can't play these kind of games. You know, quite often I can see in the internet teachers who, for example, offer their young learner students to play battleships. And they say, okay, they do quite good with this game. They don't understand. Yeah, they can do quite good, just as well as handman or memory game, but they don't understand. Memory, it is a game. You make meaningful choices. Okay, which card should I open? Okay, my partner has just opened this card. Should I open this card or should I reveal other cards? But if I make a mistake, others can make a success.
They don't follow the game. They simply.
They do it in a random way. They might do it in a random way because they don't have enough of gaming experience, or they are just too young. And I would never play memory game or battleship game with anyone who's younger than 9. We had a long road trip 2 years ago when it was still possible to travel. And we went from Moscow to Italy through Finland. Don't ask me why we did it this way, but that was our route. And at that time, my younger daughter, she was 6, and my middle son, he was 9 or 10. Well, she was 7 probably, and he was 10. And I taught them how to play battleships in Russian, just to make sure that it is peace and quiet in the car. Leah, my younger daughter, she could understand the rules and she could play the game, but she never won not a single game. And she started crying. She lost, I think, maybe 3 times in a row, and then she started crying because she couldn't work out the strategy. All her moves, they were just random ones. And if you play with your younger students this type of games, yeah, they can cope with it. But why do you need to lose your time in the classroom in such an effective way? You can do just some interactive activities or some TPR activities for this age group, and this would be much more useful, and they will learn the target language which you need.
Хотите постоянно развиваться в преподавании иностранных языков? Школа Дмитрия Никитина проводит образовательные тренинги, конференции и курсы для преподавателей. Подробности о событиях можно узнать по ссылке в описании.
In Trendy English games, we've already had 2 years of Game Educators Academy, and this is what we teach teachers to do, how to use games wisely. And I'm going to show you 3 tables. Yeah, you can take pictures.
Oh, I should have put my logo somewhere here, not the Trendy Kittens Schools logo. How to choose a game? So, what you should consider? First of all, your lesson stage. If it is presentation stage, you should use games from this part, from interactive systems. Never play hardcore games at this stage. It is very difficult. What is your pain? It is hard to memorize new language. And so your brain works just to learn these new words. And your brain doesn't need to be overloaded with game mechanics, with sophisticated game mechanics. All these bingo, lasers, flashcard games, snakes and ladders, they do good at this stage. Then we come to practice stage. And here our pain is, drill is boring and we need to drill. So at this stage, real games will be good. And our pain at production stage is just to create a real authentic communicative situation, which can be done only with the help of games. So, just to test, at what stage will you use this type of game? Presentation, and also you can use it to test your students as well. It would be okay. Battleships? Practice. So we've got these books at our stand. So there are like a few ready-made battleship games. Okay, what else you should consider? Students and their age groups. When you work with young learners, so your main focus is to keep them focused on learning. They can be distracted very easily. At this age, they like interactive systems. Snakes and ladders, very simple games, and they do love role plays. You are a shop assistant, you are a customer, let's role play the situation. You are a doctor, you are a patient, because they never do these things in real life. And they would love to do them. Okay, when you work with twins, I don't know, grade 5, grade 6, how do you work with this age group? Discipline. They're absolutely crazy. No brains at all. Okay, that's right. To keep them busy and to control them, you need competitions and quizzes. So that means that you need games from these categories: puzzles and contests. So running dictation, tic-tac-toe, Kahoot, quiz, all these sort of games. And if they are clever enough, you can try some real games with meaningful choices. But sometimes at this age, there are some students who are still don't get the idea of how to play. It depends from between this age of 9 and 12. So their cognitive abilities might be quite different. And you should consider your students. And teens and adults, what is our pain? They are always tired and bored. That's why we need games with meaningful choices, just to keep them focused on learning. And there is one more thing which you should also consider when you work with your students. Have you heard of Tuckman's team and group development model? No? Okay. If you work with the group, so the group goes through certain stages. And the first stage in September, that would be a warming stage or forming stage. And at this stage, everybody is quite shy, a little bit embarrassed just to speak. I'm talking now about twins, teens, and adults. With young learners, it's much easier. Okay, and that means that you can't play competitive games at this stage. I don't want to compete with people. If I lose, I will be absolutely depressed. I don't want to lose my face in front of the people who I don't trust. And you should play team building cooperative games just to make sure that people learn a little bit about one another. And at some stage, you should turn to tactile game, just to make sure that oxytocin goes into the blood of your students. and they feel attached to other people. So the biggest mistake which teachers make here is just to play all this crazy stuff. If you are not an English teacher, and if you are not an English teacher who works with young learners, you wouldn't do this crazy stuff in September. I mean, if you are a student and there's, okay, stand up and jump as a monkey. Then what happens in October? In October, storming starts. Okay, we are friends. And it's okay just to say something rude to my friend. It is okay just maybe to offend my friend. This is a friend. I can't do it. A lot of fights in the group. And again, if you play competitive games at this stage, it might cause a lot of problems, a lot of crying, fighting, while banging the doors and all these things. And in November, we come to this phase which is called norming, and we can start teaching English. Well, actually, in the guide which we made in spring, we have a description of all the games to be used in your English classroom. Well, in that particular order, so which games to play in September, in October, in November, and how it connects to your lesson plans. Okay, now I've got some time, and I want to give you an example of series of my lesson, maybe to describe so what can be done, how will I use a game in my classroom. And let's make it on an example of our game. Been there, done that. It is for B1, B2 levels, present perfect, and articles with geographical names. Of course, I wouldn't play this game because, okay, I've got a game, I'm going to play it. No, well, in my course book, there is a topic, articles with geographical names. And I work with 12-year-olds. Okay, how can I organize my work? Of course, I can't start with this game. This is a game which should be used at practice stage. Yeah. So, and it would be crazy, not quite wise to start with this game. So, what would I start with? I would start my lesson with the game Never Have I, just to check and to make sure that they know how to use present perfect. They still remember. Do you know this game, Never Have I? Yes. Okay. And so before this game, I can't just start playing this game just straightforward as well. So what I would need, I would ask my students to sit quietly for 5 minutes maybe and to think about things that they've never done in their life. If I skip this part, then the game wouldn't work. They would pause all the time, not knowing what to say. So first of all, they have to write down these sentences. I can help them with grammar and lexis, and only then we start this game. Then, as my topic is articles with geographical names, I should check that my students know geography. I can't teach them how to use articles with geographical names if they don't know where New Zealand is. And you know, when I played this game with teachers, once I was playing this game with teachers, and it took one girl 2 minutes to find New Zealand on the map, an English teacher, and another teacher failed to find Sahara. She said that she could see South America. We prompted her that Sahara is somewhere in Africa, but she didn't know where Africa was. We said, okay, it is just across the Atlantic Ocean, but it didn't work. Okay, and just think about your students, and if they are 12, they don't know too many things about geographical map. So I might start with the game, give me five names of the countries, give me 5 names of the oceans, give me 5 names of rivers, waterfalls, or whatever. It is just an activity, an interactive system. Yeah? Give me 5. Then I would do some kind of quiz or Kahoot on general knowledge on geography. And we would talk, I would show them the map, we would try to find different things, and I would make sure that we find all the places which are in my game. Okay, then, I I don't have time just to describe what case is. But well, this is a framework to work with grammar, with a set of grammar exercises. But I would work with grammar on articles, and only then we would play that game just to drill present perfect and to drill geographical articles with geographical names. And to wind up my lesson, I might ask them just to create their own worlds, their own planets, with their own oceans, rivers, mountains. Yeah, so, and to describe them. Yeah, this is the Tapki Ocean. And of course, so, but we would watch first, actually, what we did, we watched a video, so we just discussed vocabulary, took some phrases from the video, and then for homework, they created their world. And next lesson, we played accuracy game, where they had to tell me about their world without making mistakes. And that was, this is an online group. And so you tell about your world. When you make a mistake, you stop. The winner is the person who can talk longer without making mistakes. Of course, they tried to cheat. And they just read. And that helped me to make them learn that text and do some mistakes correction. So we played about like 5 rounds like this. And then at the end, I said, okay, now it's the final round. Now you close your eyes with your hands and you tell me about your world. Okay, sometimes I cheat, but it helps me to teach English. Okay, and knowing all this stuff about games helped us to create so-called, we call them club tags, but actually this is a fully gamified course book. I've been asked to do it for many years by different people, and we made B1 plus B2 level. So this is a course book, and well, a printed version, a PDF version, it is only for teachers. So it is organized in a form of a standard teacher's book, but your students wouldn't use any course books. So you've got some printouts, flashcards, well, a lot of photocopiable materials which we will use in your lessons. Okay, how it is organized? So we've got here different activities. Well, actually, how we make these kind of lesson plans. First, we write a lesson plan, just regular lesson plan. Make sure that, well, it is a good lesson plan, properly made. Then we think about, okay, how can we turn this exercise into a game? How can we turn this exercise into a game? So this is presentation stage, so what games we will take. So this is practice stage, what kind of games we will take. And we just substitute all exercises with games. And then we write a story. Students like stories. And they don't want just to learn English or to play some games. They want to watch a series and to be main characters in this series. Okay, and that's why you've got these cards. So they help you to tell the story. So what is really going on? Okay, so there are 8 units in this course book. There are 3 90-minute lessons in each unit. So which will make 24 lessons. And we assume that this is a good course book for your speaking clubs. So if you have a speaking club once a week and you've got a fully prepared program, so you can charge your students twice as much as for regular lessons. And that means that your speaking club would be financially successful. Okay, we've got a special offer for today's participants. Yes, this offer is not on the slide. Okay, you can go to this to our website, and you can get a 10% discount with the promo code DN School. Well, you can, if you have any questions, you can ask me at the stand. And well, actually, the promo code is written there. Downstairs. Oh, no, not downstairs. We're on the same floor, I think. Well, actually, that's it. I've got 5 minutes for questions if you've got any.
know that during choosing the lesson stage, our presentation can play lasers. I didn't know this game. Can you please explain
Lasers.
what
Yeah, it's just this is the name which we actually gave to this game. This game is a good substitute for listen and repeat exercises. Imagine you've got a set of flashcards, and you ask your students to form a line. You're the teacher. You give the flashcard to the first student and ask him or her just to repeat after you, and to pass this card to the next student over his head. So the next student repeats the word and passes it next to the student. Okay, that's it. Okay. It's just like a stupid TPR activity. That's why we do it at presentation stage.
Kids love it.
Yeah. Actually, with what I guide, and it will be available soon, how to turn exercises into games. So all exercises in course books, they are absolutely the same. And for each exercise, you can find a suitable game or game activity. And so this is just a game activity which can be used instead of this exercise, listen and repeat.
Can I ask you a
Yeah,
question?
sure.
You talked about the battleship game, and that kids younger than 9 can't understand. Yeah,
Mhm.
I understand why and what happens. But if we compare those kids who start at an early age playing this game, do they have more advantages when they come of age, they become,
No, they
or
don't.
vice versa, they lose their enthusiasm when they can start? Okay.
I think it doesn't depend on the time when they start either playing this game or learning English. It is it's physiology.
I understand, but you gave an example of your daughter,
Mhm.
and next time when she's older than 9,
Yeah, she
will
would love.
would she?
Yeah, she would love this game. Yeah, she would
Because
understand.
she has like the reward, she understands now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or she loses this enthusiasm.
No, she wouldn't lose it. I just, we still don't play battleships with her. She has just turned 9,
Mhm.
and I think I might try to do it with the group of students where she is maybe next academic year, but we still haven't tried it. But I'm sure that she would love the game. But you know what we are playing with my students now? We are they are learning now irregular verbs, and we play the red game, Akulina game. Do you know this? It's an activity, it's not a game. So you've got cards and you draw a card from your partner's head, and if you have a match, you just discard. Okay. And you can't influence the game in any way. It is absolutely random. My students loved it, but they're 9. They know about games a little bit more than other students at their age, and they try to understand what's the winning, just to work out the winning strategy. I don't tell them there is no, but every time we play, they say, okay, so if I behave like this, if I try to draw cards from this side of the person, maybe I will win. Okay, it keeps them engaged. Okay. Okay, thank you for your time.